10:19, but it's not a Tuesday. If it was a Tuesday, we could be doing TikTok Tuesday.
TikTok Tuesday.
Why would we be doing TikTok Tuesday?
Because there's a tick on my leg.
There was a tick on your leg, and the radical vegan did what?
I removed it.
With extreme prejudice.
Yeah,
as they say back in the day.
I did do that. It took me a few years to get to there.
Really?
But now mosquitoes and ticks.
Those are the two creatures that you say your life force is not important.
Well, I don't say it's not important. I just say it's a threat to mine.
Ah, okay. I don't understand ticks. I don't understand what purpose they serve.
You know what I love is when people move here from Canada or somewhere else, even out west where they don't have ticks, and they're insanely afraid of them.
Oh,
and it makes sense.
I'm born and raised here, and I'm scared of a tick.
Do you have the Lone Star tick?
I don't know.
You know, it makes you allergic to meat.
So my neighbor was bitten by a tick, and she gets violently ill if she eats meat.
Lone Star.
Yeah.
It only exists here in the Appalachian area.
Talk about a bad beat in life. That's a bad.
No,
not
that's
for you.
great. Yeah, I love this tick. I actually pay this tick. I will kill the other ticks.
You kill the other ticks to make room for the Lone Star ticks for all of us carnivores or omnivores.
I worked at Orzo when I was in college, and someone had been bit by this tick and didn't know and ate something, and we had to call 911.
Projectile vomiting at Orzo.
No, they went into like anaphylactic shock.
Whoa.
Yeah, it can cause some crazy stuff.
It's what's it called?
So you know the way to avoid it though.
No.
Don't eat meat.
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she can eat like chicken.
Chicken. It's no red meat.
Yeah.
Pork, beef.
No.
But
emu.
you should just
emu. Do you know emu is just like a steak?
Ew, Nathan.
Yeah. So I don't know if that would count.
Let's
should look that up. Can we look that up and you could slide that in when we post this thing?
No emu.
Emu.
No emu.
Save for emu, stay away, and that'll be our little public. Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever had emu? It's fantastic.
And she won't because she's.
Oh, that's right. You're vegan. Are you too? Okay. Right.
She's on a vegan journey.
Own it, man. Own it.
They're on a vegan journey. Let's let them be.
Yeah.
That's neat. The last time we had lunch was a vegan restaurant, right?
That's right. I took him to Botanical.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. So we are. Let's get the. Come on, Sarah.
You know, when someone heard me say Nathan's lost 12 pounds, they said, "Did he go vegan?" And you know, what can we say?
Awesome.
There you go.
Summer shred.
Cut him up season.
Cut
That's
him
what
up.
it is.
Cut him up season.
Yeah. Let me get this going right here. Yeah, I've lost 12 pounds, and I feel like I'm losing more hair, but that's just getting old. It's testosterone.
Time to retire.
Getting all jacked. All right.
They do say that though. The more bald you are, maybe the more testosterone you have.
Virile.
Are you taking?
Is that
are you
the word
taking
virile?
steroids?
Huh?
Virile?
Feral?
I don't know. Feral?
Vigorous, virile, and potent, I think is what.
Potent.
Potent. You potent over there like from Baltimore, hun. Anyway, episode 21. Unreal. I mean, they are still paying for this. They're still.
Especially after last week.
We haven't, especially after last week. That was we went to some weird places with that one.
Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah, thanks a lot there. So 21, they are still letting us do this. Star Hill Lounge at Dairy Market has let us keep coming back. Like I said, once again, we tear that room up every week, and they're cool with it. And the folks over at Station C keep cutting checks and paying for this thing. So for the tens and tens of people watching, it's quite the treat every week.
We love you.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Episode 21, 21. This week we have with us myself, Nathan Wickline, your host, and
Sarah Messer
as the co-host. We are joined by Luke Roark, the owner, proprietor, president, El Jefe of Commonwealth Contractors.
Yeah, my name is Luke Roark. Thanks for having me, guys. Seatbelts on, doors are locked. Looks like the car's on the road, you know.
Now we're talking.
Interested to see how this goes.
Let's take off the seatbelts. Huh? Let's take off the seatbelts a little.
Well, I mean, we got a lot to discuss.
Okay,
I mean, we started off with TikTok Wednesday.
So you know a bit about construction.
A bit, yeah.
Do you know enough to build a submersible?
You know, I've tried to do some neat things with what I do know, but waterproofing on that level is something I haven't tried.
Okay. No. We'll get to that in a bit.
So Sarah has let's just knock this out. Let's get this out right now just because Sarah's been doing a deep dive on this. She is fascinated.
Is that a pun?
When she, I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks in a row I've got a pun. Didn't even realize it. That's what they call talent, and that's what you can't teach.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, did a deep dive on this missing submarine with
Missing
our
submarine.
missing billionaire. And you've got some updates for us?
Well, as of last night, middle of the night, a Canadian plane heard rhythmic tapping at 30-minute intervals, which could indicate that they're trying to signal because they have no power, no way of exiting the submersible, nothing. But their best and only hope for survival would be to make some noise.
That's right.
And that's it. That's all we know.
That's insane. You have to be the type of person that has $1 billion to go to the bottom of the sea, to have the patience when the equipment goes out, to only hit the button every 30 minutes.
Right. Well,
Kind of creepy.
I mean, imagine that regret.
tapping it every
They
minute.
were an hour and 45 minutes into their 2.5-hour descent to the Titanic when they lost communication. Can you imagine the amount of regret going through your brain right then?
I mean,
You're just playing this song on repeat. I mean, you're stuck in a metal tube, peeing in a plastic water bottle, pooping in a Ziploc bag with 4 other dudes that you don't really know.
I mean, with an Xbox controller.
With an Xbox controller.
That's
What they drive the boat with?
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, it's a Logitech.
Logitech.
Yeah, and it's more like
Which is the cheap version of the Xbox controller. That's the funny part about this. It's like, well, the Xbox controller, that's a bit much. Can we just go to Amazon? What's the next one? What's the Amazon recommended next version?
I mean, what do you
Logitech.
like, hopes and prayers, everyone's okay. What are they doing? What are they talking about? Are they praying? Are they sleeping? Are they screaming?
I bet you at this
Are they
point
playing
you're
a
just kind
game?
of-
$1 billion confidence, somebody's coming to pick you up.
So you're a billionaire.
Some-
Well,
Someone's
maybe
gonna
you're
notice
playing
you're
that in
gone.
your head, like
Oh yeah, they're all over it. They just.
invincible.
Hey, how long did it take to find Titanic?
80 years.
So these dudes are in a little teeny thing. Yeah, we'll look for you. Yeah, good run. Being a billionaire, all that money, all the things you've done, and you're like, this is the way I went out.
Right.
Went out with a
Well,
Logitech
honestly,
controller.
he holds 4 Guinness World Records for exploring, like longest time submerged and all these other things. So for him, he may not, like this could be an okay way,
Here's the funny part. The only level
minus
of,
the actual happening of it.
the only communication means they have is text messaging.
It's text
I
messaging.
can't get a text in here.
I know.
Sometimes, and those dudes are like, let's just roll the dice that we're down 2.5 miles in the
Well,
ocean.
one of the so they could be caught in the actual wreckage down there, or they could be caught in a fishing net, or they could have submerged anywhere in the Atlantic Ocean, but they can't open it from the inside.
Right.
So I don't know.
It's a 5 foot thick carbon fiber wall. This tube.
Which is not it's not sufficiently tested
right.
for the depths
it's,
and the
it's
pressure.
the size of a minivan. They say.
Yes.
It's a minivan, and it's a 12-hour trip to get.
And there's a 19-year-old on that with his
There's a
dad.
19-year-old on there.
With no seats. There's nothing in there. So imagine this. Imagine I said to you, hey, let's go to Disney World. Let's get
In
in
a
this
metal tube.
1978 Chrysler Town and Country
With
minivan.
one 20-inch window.
With one window.
Sort of
no
see-through.
seats. And we're just going to ride, guys. We're just going to ride. It's going to be dark.
Oh, here's the toilet.
Yeah, and here's your toilet. There's a bottle in a bag. Who's up? Oh, by the way, you have $250,000 a
Yeah.
piece for this joyride. Come on, man. Anyway.
Okay, please don't go into that business.
Right.
Let's stick to land where humans thrive.
Has James Cameron given his take on it?
Yes, he has.
You did.
And what is that?
First off, they should have used his vessel. But second off, it's an inherently dangerous mission, and he, I think, was sad that they went in a craft that was not up to safety standards.
Yeah, people would get there and they'd bail. They'd be like, nah, that's.
Well, it takes 2.5 days to get from Cape Cod to the spot in the ocean where you submerge. So you have 2.5 days of being on open water to be like,
Of just staring at this hoopty. Yeah, like, what is
Yeah.
this thing?
this might be a bad choice.
I don't know, this barrel.
I mean, I guess, maybe you're just so overcome by adrenaline and excitement, you're sort of blind to, you feel invincible.
Right.
I got $1 billion. Nothing's going to happen.
No chance. My obituary will never read died in a submersible.
I will never go underwater.
Never happened. Never gonna, I mean, maybe.
I went scuba diving in Fiji, but in Fiji, you don't like need any certifications. There's no like rules, right? So Mike and I go on these incredible dives, and then we're like, we should get certified. So then we took diving certification, and they told us all the bajillions of ways you can die. And we were like, wow, really glad we didn't know this when we went, and we have not been since.
Next week, we'll be talking about the people whose blood boiled.
Okay,
that's the other thing she looked at. That's next week's episode.
Okay.
This week, we're going to cut it off there. The submersible talk. That's the
got
other
that done. Okay.
public health warning is, hey, just stay out of a submarine.
Do not go in submarines.
Yeah, if
people.
you see a non-brand name game controller of any device, of any vehicle, just stay out of that vehicle. Whether it's a car, plane.
There's a Logitech controller.
Yeah, if
there's a Logitech controller
That's
involved.
good theory,
an old
dude.
Game Boy and starts firing up your machine. Just
But
walk
this
away.
is a little more on that. There's the game controller. There's a touch screen. There's one button that's like an elevator button,
up and down.
then there's the lights from Camping World on the top, and that's it.
Yeah,
on the inside
the button
of this
it's
tube.
up and down, right?
It's up and down.
That's it. That's the.
Those are the buttons. That's it. So once the power is out, it's out.
They're cooked. They're cooked. You know what?
They're meditating.
They're doing something right now. I don't know what we're.
Well, that's the other question, right? When you're in a high stress situation like that, and you understand like, this is my end. It's inevitable. There's a moment or 96 hours where you can come to peace with that, right? So like, meditative state, like people in dire situations.
That's for tough people like us here.
Right.
But that's not your average.
But in survival, like, what's the other option?
We also have the physical thing where this lack of this elevated carbon dioxide.
One of them.
One of those two.
Not monoxide, because that kills
triggers panic attacks. That's why you have to
you.
Breathe
Yes.
in the brown bag,
Yes.
in and out. That's
Yes.
the same
So
thing.
I think it has
recycle
something
the-
to do. So you're gonna have all these panic. It's just gonna be a crazy thing. Anyway,
I mean, what a crazy experiment in human. I mean, but just awful. Don't get in a metal tube, people. It's not for us.
I'll tell you about a crazy experiment. Was they kept people awake for 5 days? No, 2 weeks.
During Marine stuff.
No. This was like back in World War II.
Oh.
Did you see what happened?
Left turn.
They turned like monsters. They had this drug that kept them awake, and they turned into crazy people.
I would say that's one of the most iconic pieces of clickbait, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's not
These
true, but I want people to
people-
go look.
I'm sure it's true, but the photos are just, you have to check it out. Yeah.
So, which is a great segue to talk about Commonwealth Contractors.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Talk about someone who
Committed, long
does.
nights.
Yeah. Who does adhere to safety standards.
Thank you. There's no public safety warnings. When it comes to
OSHA, look
Commonwealth
all you
contractors.
want. We got it covered. Right?
Tell us about Commonwealth Contractors. Tell us about Luke Roark.
Cool. Yeah.
Any relation to Mr. Roark from Fantasy Island?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off, but
That'd be pretty cool.
as you know, I'm from the southern part of the state. I came to Charlottesville about 5 years ago. I lived in Richmond before that in commercial and residential contracting. And with Commonwealth Contractors, we started in the pandemic. So it was interesting to say the least. It was 2020, October. And Charlottesville has been great to us. We've had a great network of trades partners that we've worked with. We've got to learn and grow with other builders and renovators in the area. And we've really enjoyed being in Charlottesville for the last few years and hope to stay.
Good.
So I'm being married in September with a therapist here in town who also practices here in Charlottesville. And we hope to put Commonwealth's roots even further into the ground here in the community.
Nice.
So it's a fun place to be a part of volunteer activity. Mm-hmm. It's a fun place to get outside and do things, which is what we really like to do, the whole team and myself. And we really enjoy the types of products that we're able to do in this market.
How did you get into this? How did you find your way in?
I kind of grew up just doing this. I went to school for finance. Thought about actually doing that, and it doesn't really fit what I'd like to do. I enjoy meeting the new people. I enjoy tackling the problems, and it's a comfortable thing being a part of something that you've always been associated with. So my father was a carpenter, my uncle's a builder, my grandfather's a builder, and on my mother's side, we took care of a lot of properties as well. So I've always enjoyed the construction side of things, and Saturday mornings and weekday mornings when I was out of school, rolling with the crew and being on site and kind of learning it ground up. When I moved to Richmond, I was lucky enough to have a few friends that were ambitious enough to start some companies and give me a position or two at them, and threw my heart at and had a lot of fun. So a lot of down home learning, and then kind of got the business side of things on how to make it a clear, easy experience for the client and the builder in Richmond, I would say.
Yeah. What's your niche right now? I know you guys are expanding, but if you had to say right now, this is kind of what we're focused on. This is our.
So our niche is definitely breaking down into two services, preliminary and then construction management. We're going to bring the best teams in town to get the job done. We're going to make sure they're certified to our install standards that are usually aligned with manufacturers. And for renovates and remodels, we've kind of broken that down into two different divisions. One's going to be exterior renovation, outdoor living. The interior is going to be your front door to back door remodel, maybe a basement conversion or an attic conversion. So what we do at Commonwealth Contractors is we bring in guys that have about 3 to 5 year construction experience, and we have them learn as a project supervisor and then become a project principal. So they work with our clients from the selections on our online catalogs to scheduling out the job to assigning the labor and walkthroughs. And I have an excellent project manager, David Gregory, who kind of works with that staff, making sure that everything goes well. I'm really thankful for that team, and they're able to make these things happen inside and outside of the house, but still direct focus on where they're at. So each guy has about 3 to 4 jobs, and I'd say our niche right now, it being June, is definitely the outside of the house. Again, we get to do some fun stuff here in Charlottesville. So between the pavers and the outdoor living spaces and what people are starting to do with their porches and exterior square footage, it's fun stuff.
Does that include hardscaping?
We do not really specific hardscaping,
Okay.
but when we have a project that involves a large amount of hardscaping, we'll bring in our teams and shape out the yard.
Awesome.
Outdoor kitchens, kind of redoing the entire backyard, but we might not come and lay a patio for hardscape.
Gotcha.
We would build a small deck though. Love putting down deck boards. Nathan's company sells them to us at ABC Supply, plus all our siding on the outside of the house.
Amazing.
And I would say that, again, the niche right now in June is a lot of people asking us to do some fun things to the outside of their house. On the inside, we try to move a little bit slower. I have 2 principals assigned to that. We're a little more choice about how we build those contracts out, again, on the preliminary end, and then decide if it's a good fit for the client and us to move forward with construction management.
Wow.
Yep.
So is
Outdoor kitchen. You have an
and
outdoor kitchen?
What's that?
Do you have an outdoor kitchen?
Got a grill. I don't think that really counts.
Nice. There's some neat stuff that goes up around town, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the coolest thing you've seen?
Oh man, speaking of hardscaping, one of the coolest things I've seen was in the Glenmore neighborhood. You're going down the road and it's just another house on the row. You go into the backyard, you might as well be in a time ship.
Yeah.
They've done every piece of the backyard in stone. So our good friend Nicholas Menendez, excellent paver layer. I'd say one of the best in town, if not the best. What he did out there was insane. Took him about 5 weeks, but it's insane. Chimneys, the fire, pizza oven, all the 9 yards. The pool, the flagstone. It looks nice.
Does it look like it's like Italy or something?
Yeah, it looks old world.
Are you getting submarine updates?
No, I'm looking up next. I have a lot of people ask me for good hardscapers in town. So
Yeah, I'll send you his contact after this.
That's amazing.
So that's one of the neater things I've seen in the last few years. They really went all out there.
Yeah.
6 figures on a hardscape job on a 20 by 30 space
Not
is
my
pretty
budget,
insane.
but, not my budget, but
Right. How has that affected everything? I mean, the cost of materials, because I know that we're constantly throwing increases at you guys. And
Oh, okay. You're asking me that. Nice.
Yeah.
I think you have a better read on it.
I mean, how's that affected? I mean, when people are people, I've been curious about this, like how the contractors deal with this, because is the consumer aware, or they ability to grasp that, hey, what I thought was going to maybe be 5 is now 10 or 12? I mean, is that, or are people just like, what? I mean, how do you deal with that?
Well, We bill a consultation fee on all of our visits. We try to be choice about the clients we work with from the very beginning. We credit that to the contract if we move forward with them and present a price.
Right.
But ultimately, I feel like we are lucky enough to be at a size right now where we don't really have anybody that's picked that bone with us. Our biggest expense on our end was when the material took forever to get,
Yeah.
because the time's the money. And you guys worked so hard, especially at ABC, to make sure that we could get what we needed on the right time. It was pretty impressive. And that worry's kind of out the window now. So we're back on track to a point.
Yeah.
And I think that time being dragged out is an expense we don't have to worry about when something costs maybe, where are we at now, 15% at most more, unless it's the aluminums or the little niche products.
Right.
It's not affecting our estimates too much. The material is usually going to come out to 20% to 35% of the estimate. So it's only going to move the bottom line, but so much on our end.
I've noticed that a lot of folks are doing renovations. You know, if you're into
Can't
if you're
afford to
into your
move.
house, yeah, and you got a 2.75% mortgage, you're gonna dump that and go somewhere else. So there's three houses on my street that are having stuff done. I mean, like pretty substantial additions. I guess folks are deciding to just staying put. And the market's crazy. So are you seeing a lot of that? People adding on to their house?
That's a really neat topic. I don't want to ramble too far.
Ramble, man,
Ramble, we love it.
Makes it easy for us.
The Build Association here, the Blue Ridge Home Builder Association, shout out to Jenny. They had
Thanks,
a
Jenny.
economic forecast breakfast. Did you go to that?
I missed that.
No, but some of our members were there. Yeah.
Right. So at this forecast breakfast, they break down that a lot of the mortgage lenders aren't going to be offering mortgages in this upcoming year, and that the real estate agents are starting to slow down on the closes and a few step out of the game. And we're hearing that, at least from my guys and myself in the field, with the realtors that we speak to and the lenders that we've spoken with as well. So I think that people are deciding to build value where they're at, especially where our rates are up. It's a neat time to be doing what we're doing, and we're thankful for that. And, you know, it's fun that people believe that they're going to get that value and can see it from the last few decades outside of, you know, some horror shows like '08. And I think that we're all moving in a good track. It's hard to buy a house right now, but, you know, putting the ADU on the house, possibly bumping out the square footage, improving a few things in the basement, things like that can really go far on the value of the house, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I was reading this article this morning. I'm going to try and pull it up about how finally construction rates are up because we're lagging on new homes, enough homes.
Well, now the price is so similar between just building new and buying a used house, you know, why would you, if you have the time, I guess.
I guess it depends on where you're at.
Right.
I'll say here that people are fortunate enough to have some solid builders that'll build you something great at a good price. In other areas of the country, I'm sure that what you could build new, and probably here in Charlottesville with the wrong choice as well, what you could build new, hell, I'd rather have the Rancher from 1975, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
EPA or not, we'll figure it out.
So you guys have got a good amount of experience under your belt. You guys thinking about maybe doing some builds?
We have a custom build coming up at the end of the summer. It's pretty neat. Sustaining the company and delivering what we have to for our clients and making it an awesome experience for them. Moving slow, we feel like, is the best path. I feel that we're at a point now with our principals being trained up anywhere from, I think our youngest guy's been with us a year. Our guy who's been with us the longest, 2.5 years. I'll be stepping out with my project manager, and we'll be doing a pretty niche custom build. We're going to match a house that's existing in Georgia. So that'll be fun on the selections end. A lot of paperwork there, but we'll make sure we line it all up and do the forensics. And that'll be a fun one to skin off and put in the bag. I'm excited to show it to the town. It'll be downtown. It's a gentleman, again, moving up from Georgia. From there, I don't think that we'll do a lot more builds. It'll be an over the winter build since we can break ground at the end of the summer. I think, again, next year we're going to focus on trying to do the interior renovations and the exterior renovations because that's what my staff's built around, and that's what they're delivering really well.
And you said you love being outdoors. Do you get to bounce from site to site?
I'd say that's probably one of the neater things about
Yeah.
my job. That is, if something comes up, I can leave the desk to go check it out. And sometimes it is hands-on stuff that has to get hit. So it's always exciting, fun, and rewarding.
Yeah.
And normally it's a great time to get to know your client and be at their house with them, because if it is that circumstance, we usually powwow together and come up with a solution. Contingencies, discoveries, things like that.
Yeah. I'm interested. So this downtown house, how big is the lot?
I can show it to you after the show if you'd like
Okay.
to see.
Is it small?
The house will be most of the lot. I'll say that.
Nice.
Yeah, but he has the lot and he has the lot next door, so that makes it a little.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Because we Pillar and Perch did a build, and it had what's the minimum 5 feet setback? Or
The Belmont house.
yeah, the Belmont
Oh,
house.
no telling.
But
I
you
don't know,
saw
it's a
it,
historic
right?
zone.
So you saw
Yeah.
like
I was
I mean,
going through my
like this-
computer last night,
Yeah.
and I saw one of Ben's files for that house. It's such a pretty house.
it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, it took up most of the lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Get creative.
Yeah.
So I think I heard you correctly. This guy is building an exact duplicate of the house he has in Georgia. He loves it, I guess.
The outside's a little different. Like he's done some stuff with the terrace and this and that. The architect cranked out the plans for us, so we're good to go there. But on the inside, about half the square footage he wants to match out what
I
he
mean,
has
that's
already.
incredible.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
neat.
pretty cool.
If you know it works,
Yeah.
why reinvent the wheel?
You're gonna fall in love with this building thing, and it's gonna be
We're going to
Yeah,
do a
maybe
cost
just
plus
2 or
on
3
the
more.
contract because I think it's fair.
Uh-huh.
I know
Right,
to
yeah.
have to break down all the selections on that level, but fantastic guy, excited to work with him.
Yeah.
And would love to have you guys over once it's sticked up.
Oh,
It'd be
for
nice.
sure.
right.
For sure.
That'd be awesome.
You think you'll get in there and get your hands dirty on that one?
It tends to happen, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You have to almost.
Right.
We've
Well,
been in business 3 years, so I couldn't imagine it not being that way.
yeah.
So, and you're getting married September.
I am. Yeah.
September. To the lovely Anne.
Yes, the loveliest Betty Ann.
All right. And she's a counselor in town, you say?
She's a licensed social worker,
Okay.
like
Okay.
psychotherapy.
Now, where are you getting married? We got 4 minutes here.
Psychotherapy,
Yeah,
is
that's
that the
the thing,
word?
that's
And
the thing.
psychosomatic, you talk it out or something. Yeah.
So, where are you getting married? Anything?
Sperryville.
Okay.
Sperryville. Is it a venue?
Yeah.
Isn't everything? If it's every wedding at a vineyard now? I think it's
No,
like
I
a
said a
rule.
venue. Okay.
Super fortunate there. It's a friend's farm, so we're
Amazing.
excited
So
to
So
get
it's not a
married.
vineyard.
You know what? Heck with me. What do I know?
That's awesome.
It gets featured frequently in some pretty neat things, though. So we're tickled to death that we get to use it, and it's right down the road from our families, and yeah, we're excited. My family will be driving about 3 hours at the shortest distance to come, and then some long-term out-of-towners, but keep it small, 100 people, very excited. 100,000 conversations, it seems.
You have a
But
photographer
Yeah.
for that? You have a videographer?
are you and Mike married?
Yes.
Nice. So yeah, you know.
Well, we eloped, so I don't know.
You elope?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
They
We
got
went to
married
the
after
county
like
courthouse.
2 days,
I'm
right?
suggesting
21.
it every few days.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fun. I will say I didn't get weddings, the fuss about them really, because first off, I'm a Grinch. But when my brother got married and I'm like standing there, I'm looking at cousins from both sides that like, they've always heard about each other, but like then all of a sudden they're in the same room, which had never happened before. Then it's like, oh, wow, this is really neat. And like, when else in your life are you going to have all of your most important people in one space? It's worth it.
That's beautiful. I'll
It's
remember
beautiful.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that moved. That's moving.
Yeah. There's no other day. Yeah. On a happy, it's a very happy occasion as well. It's not,
Right.
the opposite.
It's exciting.
It is
So where do you go for
exciting.
your honeymoon? Anything?
I don't know yet. I think that we're just going to like go out of town a night after the wedding, kind of recoup. And then at the front of the next year, go do something nice.
Nice.
And maybe if you buy enough from ABC, you get on the company trip.
Hey, where are you guys going? LA again? I mean, Vegas?
No. The ABC company trip is pretty awesome. And I think it was down in
Top Golf in Richmond?
Top Golf in DC. No, it was. I think it was down in Jamaica last year. But it's like $10,000 a person is the trip.
Wow.
So it's a pretty nice little trip. So any customers
I have
out
a
there
feeling that Anne might not want to honeymoon with the ABC crew.
You never know.
I don't know, Anne.
like to get after it.
That's making a big
Listen,
And Ted's
assumption.
a
I don't
builder
want a
as well.
vacation
with the
He
ABC
built for
crew.
50 years, but I doubt that she's.
Yeah.
make
She's
it nice.
cool, but not for her honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call it cool.
So Commonwealth Contractors, where can we find you on the internet?
You find us online, CommonwealthContracts.com. I'm sure we have an Instagram out there. I'm not sure how active it is. But CommonwealthContracts.com, if you want to get in touch with us, just click the button on the site, put your information in, and it's really, really neat. We've built an internal app. We have all of our automations on the client communication. It's built to be a fun experience. So as soon as you hit that button, keep an eye on your inbox. You're going to get the email. We'll let you know what to do next with what fits your path. We'll get somebody in touch with you to talk about making something
I mean,
happen.
this sound, you keep saying the word experience, and it really does sound like that is a part of the build, is this importance on relationships. And you're not like
It can be the best part or the
panicking.
worst
It's like,
part.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But you have a clear way of communicating with the customer, client, and they have a clear way of reaching you. That makes a big difference.
Being reachable is a very important thing.
Yeah.
You know? And we're fortunate. I mentioned that we started in the pandemic. Things were a little slower in the pandemic. It gave us the opportunity to check out some of these new products that are coming out. And really the ones that have been around for so long are just improving on a way where it's almost brand new, right? So these apps that we're using, these websites, they make it very fun to build it around the client experience. And just let it ride, you know. So we have internal catalogs with all the stuff that we'd like to offer. It's really easy for our clients to pick exactly what they want and for us to deliver a lot of styles, but not really spend the forehead to the desk time making it happen. You know,
Right.
we put it
I'll
on
say
the plan.
this
Yeah.
for Luke and his guys. When Buddy and I met with Luke, when you were first getting started, after the meeting, we looked at each other and we were like, that guy is he's going to do things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain folks you sit down with them and you can just tell that, okay, these are professionals. It's not like everyone else. And so I can't recommend you enough.
Well, that's flattering because you guys have knocked it out the damn park at the Charlottesville ABC.
This is what we do for each other right here.
Yeah. They really have, though. I mean, spoken highly of.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, like I said,
Nathan's
can't
all right.
recommend these guys enough. Commonwealth Contractors, CommonwealthContracts.com, not contractors. I made that mistake a few times in emails. But yeah, great guys, great company. Seriously locked on, professional. You don't have to worry about some of the things you worry about with some of these other guys. So give them a shout. That's going to do it for us today. We are more than out of time, I think. Thanks for listening to Submarine Talk. We'll have an update next week. It's either going to be
Submersible.
submersible.
Submarines can launch themselves. Submersibles need some help.
There's so much knowledge that is passed from us to the viewer on this show. You would think we would have thousands instead of the tens.
Well,
Did you watch,
we're
did
getting
you watch
there.
last week from Sweden? So we had
International
Asia,
streaming.
Europe, and North
Yep.
America as our viewership last week.
Thank you.
Oh, that's okay.
It's a good way to approach the risk board, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, not an exaggeration. Undefeated in risk.
Oh,
I have
dude, no way.
I have a certain strategy.
You have to meet my Uncle Marcelo.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Asia, and Europe,
Next week,
suckers.
tune in.
Sucker play. Sucker.
Let's-
Australia, South America.
Let's play.
South
Next week.
America.
Next week we're playing. Yeah.
Oh, let's
Live.
do it.
Watch that.
You know what?
That's fun.
There's probably a group of nerds out there that just love risk, and we could tap into that.
I
So-
think you're one of them.
Oh, I love risk.
Yeah.
I love the game of world domination. All right, that's it. 21's in the books. 22's next week. Turn them off and
Thank you,
let's
Lou.
get out of here. Thanks,
Yeah,
Lou.
thanks for having me, guys.